Okay, we are live now, so it should be like I said. There's like a 6-second delay on that.
And I don't have anything yet.
Should be coming up.
Sorry if everybody else is seeing this. I am seeing nothing. Still says waiting for you.
Yeah. Waiting for what?
It says live on my end.
Are you seeing the picture on your end?
Yeah.
On YouTube?
Yeah. No.
Okay, yeah, that's what we're talking about, the YouTube thing.
Oh, okay.
Black Lotus is live, it just said.
Okay.
And I clicked on it, and it's still nothing.
Here we go again.
Yeah, right. Okay, click on that again.
I did. That's what brought it up.
Oh man, this is.
It says live now.
Why is it not doing anything? I don't understand what's going on here. This is making me a little crazy.
And it says 0 viewers, so nobody's seeing. Oh, here we go. Wow.
All right, we're on. Okay, good.
We're on. It's a long delay.
Yeah.
We'll have to put a time on that.
Yeah, no doubt. So anyway, we don't have any viewers on just yet. So, but this is going to be recorded, so we'll go ahead and start chatting here. So today, folks, we are talking to paranormal investigator Jeff Campbell, and Jeff came by us via a Facebook group, wasn't it, Rob?
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, so Jeff, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got interested in the paranormal.
Well, it's kind of a long story. Many moons ago, as a young kid, I lived in a giant farmhouse in the middle of the country. Dark figures. I thought it was just my imagination as a kid. Years go on, activity increased, told nobody because it's crazy, right? Finally, before we moved out, I mentioned it to my mother, and she told me similar stories. Okay. And ever since that day, I've been nonstop. Ever since that day.
Really?
It's more of a hobby than anything else. I mean, I'm still up in the air about the whole thing.
Yeah. So you don't do the paranormal investigations as a professional or anything like that.
Yeah. We have all the professional gear.
Okay.
Professional members, everything.
Well, I suppose what I'm asking is, do you get paid for the investigations?
Sometimes.
Okay.
It's not my career, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
More of a hobby.
Yeah.
We understand that one.
Yeah. An expensive hobby, a very expensive hobby.
I've heard that. Now, I've never purchased paranormal investigative equipment, but I hear that they can get, really, really expensive.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's just a bunch of grown-ups walking around in the dark, really.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying it's expensive. If somebody wanted to start doing this, what would be the one thing that they should get first to start off?
Get yourself some wireless night vision cameras. That'll save you a lot of headache.
Okay.
Definitely. You can pick them up for cheap nowadays. When I started this, it was outrageous.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
Now you can go spend $200 at Costco, and away you go.
Now, what about the other equipment, like the EMF recorders and EVPs and that kind of thing?
See, I own all that stuff. I tend to stay away from that.
Do you?
Yeah, like the ghost box with the the FM AM radio. I stay away from that.
Really?
It's too open to interpretation. You hear what you want to hear.
Okay.
At the end of the day, you hear exactly what you want to hear.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see these people on these paranormal investigation shows, and I mean, it's almost as though they swear by these things.
Of course they do, right? Ratings.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I
yeah.
said, I'm a true believer in the paranormal, 100%. But 90% of these TV shows are bogus. 90%. 90%.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, talk to me about that. Tell me about. You had mentioned that it's a lot of hurry up and wait,
Yeah.
and that's not what they depict on the shows because it wouldn't be very exciting.
Of course not. So step one is the setup on the shows. A lot of the times it's time lapsed, so it looks like it took 20 minutes tops. Setup's about a 4-hour process, depending on location.
Wow.
So we did a school in Brantford. It was converted to a daycare center, and the place was massive. We had to run. I think we ran 27 cameras, all wired throughout the school.
Really?
Set up, and then you got to remember, since lights are out, you got to hide the wire so no one trips, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when it's all said and done, like I said, 4 hours to set up, 2 hours to tear down because you're tired and in a hurry, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I'll bet it's really kind of a pain in the butt.
It's fun. You get to see a lot of things people don't get to see. We did a hospital in Brantford again, and being in a hospital by yourself in the dark is creepy enough. Searching for ghosts, most people get freaked out. I'm the opposite. I tend to chase after noises like a fool for some reason.
I would think it's because you want proof that it wasn't just somebody there knocking something over or something.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's funny you mentioned that. We did this one investigation in Toronto, actually, at this townhouse. And according to the owner of the house, their child was possessed by a demon. We don't play around with that stuff. And I guess at the end of the night, they discovered that they could possibly be on TV. So they played it up. It was the first investigation we did where the people that owned the house stayed at the house.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. And I guess they didn't realize that our cameras are night vision. And when they throw a wrench to get attention, we picked it up on the camera.
Really?
And oh yeah. It was just it was a waste of time.
Yeah.
It was a waste of time.
So, I mean, when you discovered this, what was your reaction?
Oh no, I knew what we were getting into instantly.
All right.
And without naming names, the first thing I do for most investigations, if it's at a house, is I go into the bathroom and open the medicine cabinet.
Okay.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, see, that's something that a lot of other investigators don't do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one to judge, but you need to check this stuff out first.
Yeah.
Drug-related history, all that, mental illness in the family, you need to look at that and talk about it.
Let me ask you a question. Ralph and I were talking about this recently when we were doing another paranormal episode, and I've heard that a lot of paranormal researchers feel that with poltergeist activity, it generally happens when a teenage girl is in the household, and they think it may have something to do with the raging hormones that girls are going through at that time. And it's kind of a telekinesis kind of thing.
I can see that. But my theory is completely different from the rest.
Okay.
It's completely different. So my theory is, take a music CD, for example. Okay? So let's take the Tragically Hip. The songs are all on that CD. You can listen to that CD forever. If that CD shattered into 1 million pieces, those songs are still on that disc.
Okay.
So to me, paranormal activity is nothing other than that. It's just energy.
Okay.
Right? It's like listening to a radio station and going under a bridge. For a brief second, another radio station comes in, and it's gone. I don't believe in poltergeists. I don't believe in any of that. For me, that's the brain's very tricky when it comes to that.
Okay, so if you don't believe in poltergeists, how would you explain objects being thrown across the room when no one's done it?
Yeah, I have actually experienced that myself, and that put a hole in my theory for sure.
Right, because that has happened to me while I was alone in a locked bathroom, and poltergeist, of course, is automatically what you think.
Of course. But once again, going back to that school, that happened in that school. And I couldn't explain it. Our job when we go into a location is to explain what it is. Except, we don't We don't try and prove that, yep, it's definitely haunted. We try and prove it away. The incident in the school, so there was a gymnasium on the far side of the school. It was a little Fisher-Price like motorcycle ride-on for kids. And it had a little Fisher-Price cap that covered the screw on the handlebars. Something pinged off a locker down where we had home base set up. Didn't think anything of it. As we're cleaning up that night, I found it on the floor. And if you watch the cameras, you can see it come flying down the hall and hit the lockers.
Wow. Wow.
I spent an hour of my time in that gymnasium by myself prior to this happening. And afterwards, when we went back to the gym, that tricycle was in the middle of the gym.
Is that right? Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So, first of all, how many people are members are on your investigative team?
4 solid members, depending on the area. We have people that are interested all over the place. So if let's say we're doing one in Niagara Falls, and we have someone interested out in Niagara Falls, they're more than welcome to come with us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But real members 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
We actually had one last night. I couldn't make it, unfortunately. So I don't even know the details about it.
Oh, is that right? Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
And how often do you actually go out and do it?
When we first started this group, 7 years ago now, it was constant, 2-3 times a week. Now it's a little slower now,
Mm-hmm.
but we still go out. We still go out once a month.
Huh. Now, you have a degree in this, I heard. Is that right?
I did go to school for it, yes.
Did you?
It was more of a hobby thing. I did it just because.
Oh,
That
okay.
was more of a hobby.
So,
Actually, someone told me that I couldn't do it, so I had to go and do it.
so can you just kind of tell me what kind of training do you get with something like this?
Honestly, absolutely none.
Really? So it wasn't worth the classes?
Definitely not. I mean, the piece of paper on the wall looks pretty cool in my office. But other than that, it's you have to be there. It's like anything else when you go to school for, right? The hands-on is more important than the book work.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's all theory. It's all theory.
Yeah.
Do they explain the different things you use for doing it, or is it just background?
Yeah, a bit of both. They touch on a bit of both. Now, as far as the tools go, like I said before, I tend to stay away from a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
I carry my own little handheld night vision camera, and that's all I have.
Really?
I mean, I have all the tools, but I don't use them. Everybody else uses them.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can see how you can when you say that it's left up to interpretation with those tools. Ralph and I we just recently downloaded this kind of ghost hunting app on our phones, and it had a EVP as well as an EMF recorder, and it was saying some of the weirdest stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, you would hear something, and then the app would interpret it for you, and it's like, well, yeah, I can kind of hear that, but I don't know,
Yeah,
so.
you're hearing it because you want to hear it, though. That's what it boils down to. So every investigation, at the end of the night, we get together with the Ghost Box, which is the AM radio. And I usually sit it out and watch the cameras when this is happening, because the reactions of some of the people, it's too much.
Oh,
they
really?
get far too excited. Once again, they hear what they want to hear.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like if your dad passed away and you hear a voice that sounds kind of the same, it's automatically your dead dad.
Yeah.
Automatically. And I mean, all the power to the people. If it makes them feel good, that's fine. I'm not going to argue that.
Yeah.
But I tend to stick with the night vision camera, hands on. If I hear a noise, I go and look at it.
Yeah.
Explain away. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Well, I will say one thing about when I did download that program. I came over and was going in, and the first thing it did was brought me into this room where we actually record. And the thing started going crazy, and as soon as I got over his chair, it said husband. And of course, him and Terry are married. So I thought that was kind of weird that the timing of it was pretty close.
Yeah. So
I haven't played around with the apps. I mean, when I first got into this, smartphones didn't exist. Right? Yeah.
And I've also heard that having it on your smartphone actually is because, especially with the EMF, because the magnetic frequency doesn't jive with the smartphone's magnetic energy, I guess.
Not at all. That's why I stay away from that stuff.
Yeah.
Especially in houses nowadays with Wi-Fi routers all over the place.
Yeah.
Xboxes, tablets talking to this microwave. It's too much. It's too much.
Yeah, I can really see why you wouldn't want to rely on those things, and rely more on just your own experience and training.
Exactly.
So
now there is one thing that I can say, that every single investigation we go on cost a small fortune in batteries.
Oh yeah, I'll bet.
That is one thing that I cannot explain, is how fully packaged batteries can go from full to dead in less than 20 minutes. Every time.
Oh, really?
Every single time. Yeah.
Oh, that's strange. That's
very
strange.
It is. So that's a guarantee to happen every time we go out.
Yeah. So when we were talking about your investigative team, now you had mentioned that someone had come to you and optioned a TV show to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I can touch briefly.
Don't name names or anything.
No. So we got in contact. The owner of the group got in contact with them, and each member of the group had to do a 2-minute video of their past experiences, and only 2 of us were picked for the show, unfortunately, which was not good to start off with because we're a team. You can't break it up. So I was chosen, and the owner of the group was chosen. So we meet these people for dinner. They tell us what we're going to do. They had a psychic medium there, which I don't like. Right away, that's a red flag for me. So we shot the pilot episode, and what really stung me was the medium was allowed to interview the people before we did. So right away, that's red flag, right? She knows the history of this place, and we don't. Little strange, but we're in it anyway. We started shooting a pilot, and we were given roles. So I had to be the scared guy, and the other guy on the team had to be the big tough biker, not afraid of anything role, which is kind of weird to begin with because it's in real life it's funnier because it's reversed. I think that's funnier on television. That's pretty much it. I mean, as far as staging things go, at the end of the day, it's TV, right? You need to keep people on the edge of their seats. I get that. But it's just, it wasn't for us. We didn't want it to go any further.
Yeah.
I respect you for that.
Yeah, no doubt.
I couldn't do it.
And I understand that people that do these shows make a lot of money, but at what cost, to their integrity?
Exactly. No, I mean, a lot of these shows, the show name isn't the name of the group. In our case, the show's name was the name of our group.
Okay.
So right away I didn't. No, definitely not. All it takes is you get busted for hoaxing it once, and there you go, you're ruined.
Yeah.
Hobby's over.
Well,
Hobby's over.
Yeah. They've got that Zach Bannigan's haunted museum here in Las Vegas, and from what I understand, I've never seen his shows, but I understand that his stuff is a lot of it's staged.
Of course, but it's like everything else, from Dr. Phil to Jerry Springer. It is what it is. Some of it's real, some of it's staged. It's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about some of your experiences.
Okay. Let's think here. What's a good one? Let's use the Sanderson Center. It's an old opera theater in Brantford. That was probably one of my favorite locations, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So we're in this giant opera house by ourselves in the dark, setting up cameras, all that jazz. And the first night, nothing happened. Nothing at all happened. It was just a creepy atmosphere. For example, I'm in the orchestra pit by myself in the dark with a little 2-inch black and white screen. That's all I can see. And you turn the corner into the dressing room, and it's just rows and rows of mannequins.
Oh.
Little creepy, right? Little creepy. Other than that, that was pretty much it for Paranormal Activity, to be honest with you. Uh-huh. So that Halloween, we put on a fundraiser called Scare in the Square, where during Halloween, all these haunted houses would open up on the street, and we were the only ones that were... You would get to experience what a ghost hunter's like. You could use our cameras, our gear, go through. The only thing you couldn't do was go into the orchestra pit because of insurance reasons.
Oh, okay. Right.
Okay.
Oh, did we lose him?
I cannot hear him.
Yeah, I think we lost connection. Uh-oh.
Just when we're getting to the good stuff.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'll hang out here for a minute and see if he can pop back on. Yeah, he's totally gone now. Hopefully he'll get back here in a second. Yeah. Anyway, in the meantime, one of the things I want to ask him is why he distrusts. Is he back? Oh, maybe.
Yep, I see no movement.
Anyway, why he distrusts paranormal mediums? You know, maybe he's relying more on this kind of scientific aspect. I wonder. But
very strange that all of a sudden we went dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had noticed that he is totally into Halloween.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool. He had a bunch of cool pictures, and he just disappeared totally.
Yeah, again. So hopefully we can get this up and running again. Finally got a live event going, you know.
Yeah, we apologize for the last 2 weeks where things have happened that were out of our control.
Oh man,
just like what is happening with us right now.
Yeah, just something, you know.
It's the ghost.
It's the ghost. It must be the ghost. Yeah. So, do you have questions lined up for him at all?
I was just going to mention about his Halloween effect, which he was just bringing up, and that was about it, really.
Let me check something here really fast. He's trying to message me through Facebook. It looks like he has. Said it kicked me out. Going to try and reconnect. Okay. All right.
Hold on, people. We are trying to get going again.
So thanks for your patience. Yeah, we're just. But you know, you were talking about the fact that he likes Halloween. I don't think that you can be involved with paranormal stuff unless you like Halloween. You know? I was just chatting with a friend of mine on Facebook recently, and he's one who isn't into Halloween. And he says, you're 53 years old. What are you doing celebrating a kid's holiday? And I'm like, it's not so much a kid's holiday anymore. It's more of an adult holiday, if nothing else. And where's your spirit of fun? You know, I mean, I told him, I said, you celebrate Christmas. Why do you celebrate Christmas? He says, because it's an obligation. And I said, okay, but if you enjoyed Christmas, why would you celebrate it? He says, well, probably because it's fun. And I said, right, there you go. You know,
I was out in the garage today going through some of the Halloween stuff, trying to figure out what to do with some of it to create.
Yeah, Ralph and I are, well, you guys already know this, but we're really into Halloween. And, I think we're going to, we're going to do something in our garage this year, since he's here now, and we're both into the Halloween haunt stuff, and I don't think we're going to put together a full haunt or anything like that, but we're going to have something going.
It's a little fun area for the kids to come get the
candy. Yeah, something scary and fun. But anyway, we are slated to be on GL Davies podcast in October, I think it is. I want to say it was like October 15th. Is that right? I don't recall what date it was.
Do you recall? He's actually online right now.
Is he on?
Yeah, he's talking to us. He wants to know our opinions on psychic mediums.
Well, I don't know. Because I have a very good friend of mine by the name of Anne-Marie Balog. And in fact, she was the one who was supposed to be on with us last week, and she fell ill, and so she couldn't be on with us. And I have seen some things. She did readings for my wife, and she knew things that there was no possible way that she would have known about my wife. My wife's son died years ago, and she knew that her son had died without being told, and she just knew certain things, like intimate things that nobody would have known. And but yeah, so what do I think about him? I don't know. I don't get readings done for myself. I don't like people being invasive in my life like that. I just don't like it. In fact, we're going to, one of the things that Anne Marie does is she does, you know, how some people do palmistry, she does toe readings. And so I had a bunch of people send in pictures of their toes, and she was going to do live toe readings. And so, and even Ralph did it. And she asked me, she says, "Where's yours?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do it." You know, because I mean, if somebody wants to get to know me, they can just talk to me. You know, it's not that I have anything to hide, really. It's just that I don't like the idea of having people personally invasive in my life. You know what I mean? It just kind of bugs me. I mean, I feel the same way about like tarot readings and stuff like that. I do tarot readings myself, but I do them for myself. I don't do them for anybody else.
I was just interested to see what she would come up with off of my toes.
Yeah.
I mean, I for people who have been listening, you'll know that I've had a couple of psychic parties. I had a psychic at a Halloween party of mine, and then I had just a psychic party. And during that psychic party, one of my friends got read and was told or asked if they were in the Army or air some type of military type thing. And he said no. She goes, "Well, I see you in a helicopter, and I see a bunch of military people, and you're going for a ride." The next weekend, he went skiing, and their Jeep got stuck in the middle of nowhere, and they had to be air rescued by the military. So they ended up all going into a helicopter with military men. It's like, how do you know that?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they say stuff that's coincidence, and they usually generalize. This was not generalization.
Yeah.
This was a specific thing, and it ended up happening within a week.
Yeah. Well, and so you know, we recently did that show, or the episode on the Conjuring, and suddenly her name is escaping me.
Whose name?
The paranormal, the team that went in to investigate. Lorraine Warren. Now she is a paranormal medium, and she has been accused of setting things up, you know, as well as her husband, you know, and faking a lot of this stuff. And so I think that may be why some paranormal investigators like Jeff distrust having somebody like that there. They're maybe just for show more than anything else. I know that Anne Marie doesn't do that. She doesn't go on investigations, you know, but she does readings for people and that kind of thing. But yeah, so. Well,
I'm wondering if he's having trouble contacting us, because usually you do the call before we actually go live.
If what? I understand.
We usually get connected to him before we go live to the person. Now we're live. He might not be able to get in, maybe.
No, I don't know. I'm not sure. But in any case, this is not looking good. So I think we're going to have to call it a day. But in any case, hey, Jeff, I'm sorry it didn't work out as well as we hoped, but we did enjoy having you on, and hopefully we'll have you on it back again. Viewers, Jeff is not only an paranormal investigator, he's also a cryptid investigator. And so I think we're going to try to have him back on the show again, and we'll be talking about his searches for Bigfoot and such. So
that should be interesting.
Yeah, it should be interesting. So, but anyway, until next time, keep thinking and always question everything.